I go express my make you express your I go express my thoughts. I go express my thoughts. To make you express your thoughts. I go express.
All right, good evening. My name is Zai, and welcome to another episode of the Thoughts Express podcast on Wyattsdot production. I am currently on Instagram at certifiedlovergirl_, and I have a couple of people here today that's going to be joining the podcast and talking about a couple of topics we have. If you want to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Henry. You can follow me on Instagram at Henry_the Tank Engine.
Hello, my name is Malik. You can follow me on IG at Cozy Malik.
Hello, my name is Quan. You can find me on Instagram at solo.quan, on YouTube at Quan_solo. And yep.
Then we also have our special guest here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Philip. It's Feel Good Services on Instagram and then email also.
Yes,
Email, okay, email.
I'm too old.
I got you.
Old school stuff.
All right, and we are currently live on all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, anything you can think of at Wyattsdot production. Also, make sure give us a follow and subscribe. If you can't catch us live, you can also just go back to YouTube at Wyatt's production. So this show is being sponsored by XX Energy. Instagram at jkuzi international, website www.aimway.com/myshop/jeftarkuji1. So today we're going to get into a couple of topics, but the main topic is going to be about the silent battles within social media effects on mental health, which is a big thing nowadays because of the generation that we're in, if y'all agree.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely agree that social media plays a big part in our lives, if not
Every
a part
day.
of our lives every day. Yeah, definitely. With the news, entertainment news, drama, I think it correlates to literally everything. Like, it's the new news for 2024, definitely. So the first topic we're going to get into is constant comparison syndrome.
Okay.
Constant comparison syndrome. I can speak from experience. First of all, constant comparison syndrome is when you compare yourself to certain things that you either see or want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've done it before. Well, I've tried to get out of doing it now, but growing up, you see things online. You see people with fancy cars or nice houses, the materialistic thing of life that Instagram or Facebook, projects online to young minds like me or younger kids. And they see that and they're like, for example, people my age, like I'm 23-year-old millionaires.
Oh, yeah.
And I compare myself sometimes like, damn.
Yeah.
I
23, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, LV bag, you good.
That's true.
It is true though. You see something you like and it kind of give you, but it's two ways to go about it, because you can compare and it motivates you, and you can compare and kind of hate on that type of time.
The enviness starts building.
Why me instead of like, oh damn, I could go do that.
Yeah, it's possible.
It's possible.
And I would say it's good unless if it's excessive. Like if you compare every aspect of your life,
right?
That's not healthy. So
But what aspects do you compare?
I think it depends. Like we can see. Well, I can go on Instagram now and see 23-year-old with degrees, graduating college. That's like something I can compare to. Like, okay, I see myself by the time I'm 26, I can see myself graduating with my bachelor's degree and such and such. Versus the opposite side, you see, the social media females and men as influencers.
That's true.
The
influence to do a lot.
And I would say like mainly for like the couples on social media, like a lot of them, like you'll see them, they look happy, all that stuff.
You buy somebody a Birkin, your girl,
they fight every day, they cheat on each other, like it's crazy stuff. And a week later, you'll see they got divorced or something. And they have like 10 kids, but they just all you see is them posting the kids every day, but you don't know what's going on, So I
want to ask though, do we have to compare?
I think it's like biological. Like you just grow up comparing. Like if I'm the fastest kid in middle school, then that's some cred, and you kind of get a little respectful, like respect a little bit. So I feel like you kind of do it to like get that advantage in some way.
Yeah, I think it does start from a young age. Like we mentally don't realize that we're doing it, but because depending on the parents, because it starts with the parents, and when you're young, you're taught to get good grades. You're taught to stay on the dean's list. You're taught to everything you do, you put 100% into it.
That's correct.
Also, like schooling, you have it's a natural thing. It's like a natural order now to compare yourself to certain things, especially when you grow up doing that at a certain age, versus it being, okay, whatever you do, just put 100% into it. Don't worry about nobody else. We was taught at a young age to everything you do it at 100%, and then you got to do it better than the next person.
You have to be the best. You have to be the
best. I wasn't really taught like that. I was taught like just do what you got to do as long as it's good for you. So like just try your best at everything. You should be like, if you're doing your best, you're going to succeed, but don't look at others, because what others are doing, you know, they might be doing it differently. Like they might have a different situation than you. So you can't compare yourself to them, because that's gonna be bad for you.
You know, as she mentioned, sometimes this is where my concern is. Sometimes we think that we're not comparing.
Yeah.
But as you said, subconsciously we are. Right? If we consciously comparing, then at some point we're going to catch ourselves. And then be like, oh no, I can't keep up with this. So, you know, I got to be careful, you know, try to slow down and then detox from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then if you subconsciously doing it, that is where it gets even more difficult, because you don't know that you're doing it. But then you go on this page and it's like, oh, the dude got 100 likes, right, for this cake that he wore, and then posted it.
Yeah.
And then you posted, and then you come back 2 days later, and then it's two likes. And it's you and then your other friend, right?
Yeah.
They're like, man, what am I doing wrong, right? Yeah, so that gets in, and then it's like, man, am I not rocking this very well or what? And then it gets into too many other things that I think I'll touch on later. But the subconscious part is more difficult and more dangerous than the consciously doing it.
I would say, like, growing up in sports specifically, it's like you kind of I guess it is subconscious, but in my position, I gotta be the best in my position or I won't play. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you do compare, like, oh, he did 225 reps, I gotta do 235. You know, so you compare in that sense, and I think it's competitive, which gives people advantage in some way. But it could be bad when you look at the likes and you ain't got too many.
And that's where I feel sometimes I can personally say I ran into trouble where I thought I needed to go and be the best at something that wasn't for me.
That's what I was saying. Like, not everything you see someone else doing, you can't do. You have your own gifts, so you should like do what you want to do.
But that's a challenge today.
I was about to say, not to cut anybody off, but like I think that like whatever I do, I could be the best at. Like my mom used to tell me that growing up, like you could do whatever you want to do. If you see it done, it's possible. And that's why everything I go for, like I try anything and I try to be the best for sure.
Yeah, obviously you can do it, but what I'm saying is, like, are you meant for you happy doing it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like anyone could go and, like, if you study hard enough, anyone could be a doctor, engineer, anything like that. But if that's not what you're happy doing, like
for sure,
but, like, are you gonna do it?
Let me ask, do you have to be happy? Like,
it depends.
Because there's plenty of athletes that have come out of their careers, plenty of famous actors that come out of their careers. And were they happy the entire time they were doing or being the best or told they were the best?
So here's the thing. Plenty of them also come out and be depressed.
Yes. And then
plenty of them also come out and be broke.
Yeah.
That's
right.
True.
So I always ask the question, what's your purpose?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's where that's the challenge today.
And a lot of them you'll see, like, I'm a big basketball fan, so like a lot of players, they'll get their big contract and all of a sudden the next year playing just goes all the way down. Right? Like players like Ben Simmons or like they'll get a big contract after that. They just stop trying, or they'll be, I'm hurt. Like,
right. I mean, he just don't want to play basketball. That's my
but that's what I think. He was just tall as a kid, so they just like, here's a basketball. I think didn't actually love it.
To add a little bit, but I think comparison, as far as like comparing, especially specifically on social media, I think it could be motivation, but it is really be aware of it, and then take it for what it is. Like, I think life happens how it's supposed to happen regardless. So with that understanding, you kind of just accept every challenge, every hiccup, even if you ain't got what somebody else got, you understand I'm gonna get it later, or you just not my time. You kind of have a better understanding of it in that comparison sense.
I also think, just correlating to what you said about detoxing, I think once you become self-aware that you're doing it, I think it gets better over time, because sometimes you don't realize you're doing it, especially when you do go on social media and you see millions of kids. TikTok is worse because it's like every TikTok that comes on the For You, a young person, millions of followers, making money on TikTok, got the rich house and the cars, and then you're like, hey, maybe I should do this.
Yeah.
But I feel like once you are self-aware of like, okay, hold on, this life probably is not for me.
Yeah.
I mean, once I figure out if this is something I want to do, if it doesn't work, well, hey, I'm just try something else.
Right.
And try not to compare myself, or I think it's setting them high standards.
Right.
You got to know what standards are for you. And I think that's where addiction, screen time, obsession comes from. Like, people not knowing who they are as an individual. So they go online and it's online every day, all day, trying to figure out what they like or what they eye likes, instead of like, oh, personally, what's suited for you. So the obsession screen time comes from like the scrolling on TikTok. You blink, you've been on TikTok for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And see that? But that speaks to the self-awareness. Are you aware that you're on TikTok for 3 hours? Are you aware that you just watched 40 minutes go by on Instagram Reels
for 2 seconds,
you know?
3 seconds.
In the moment, you don't realize it, but after you definitely do.
You know, I don't know about you guys though, but I used to have a phone, right? I think it was 7 Plus, iPhone 7 Plus. And when you're watching something on YouTube and then you go landscape, you don't see the time.
Oh yeah. Nope, it disappears.
It disappears.
You go.
So you and be watching and then you keep watching, and then by the time you realize, you're like, what am I doing?
That goes to the business side of these apps.
Exactly.
They want you on there for as long as you can so that they can sell the advertising to you. They can sell you this product. Everything at the end of the day now is attention.
Yeah, it is.
And once people get addicted to attention, you can't unhook.
That's like the iPhone's updates. I don't know if y'all like realize Apple times your screen watch, screen time.
Oh yeah, I keep that on.
Yeah, so it literally shows you how many hours you've been on social media or text messages or Facebook.
Yeah.
I think that's another good way to see self-awareness. Like,
I mean, I'm embarrassed right now knowing what my Instagram screen time is. That one alone,
You're like, man, I spent all this time. Where did I get it from?
You know,
24 hours is never enough. But
Instagram. Do you guys think that it has an impact on sleep patterns?
Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely does, because sometimes I'll spend like hours on Instagram Reels, but
that one I don't know.
I think it.
I don't know.
Let me ask you this.
If it's
since you don't know, let me ask you this: have you posted around 9 p.m., 10 p.m. before?
Yes.
Okay. Follow-up question: what time do you usually go to bed?
For me, for my lifestyle right now, I'm asleep. I'm in bed by that 9, 10 p.m.
9, 10 p.m. Okay. So if you post around 8, right? Do you check your phone again around 9?
Now that goes to the individual, because for me, once I post, I'm not looking at that until the next day, until hours later. But I'm gonna go back and look. I'll make sure to do that.
Okay.
But I'm not. If I post right now, I know. Okay, I'm gonna leave. I'll go home, make my dinner. When I'm ready to go to sleep, that's when I might go and check what did the post do? Who saw the post? Who viewed it?
So that is the point.
You have more discipline, but not everyone has that sort of discipline in terms of like social media.
Especially for those chasing the clouds, right?
Oh yeah.
You post it and then you want to check and make sure, is it being viewed? Is it being liked? Is it being shared? Is it being retweeted? All
5
of
minutes went by. Come on.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, okay, how many likes, how many posts, how many that. And then by the time you realize, okay, now let me scroll up and see what others are doing, right? And then you keep scrolling and then you're still up.
Oh yeah.
And then you leave Facebook and then you go to IG, right? Yeah. And then you keep doing same and then realize it's still up. So your plan was to go to bed around 9, but then now it's like 10:30, and you're still scrolling. True. Then like, oops, let me put it down.
And
right?
before you go to bed, even your brain needs time to shut down. Yep. So like you scrolling and then you're thinking of what you just saw. Right. Like you're not gonna the brain is not gonna have enough time to shut down. So when you go to bed, now you're like awake. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to close your eyes, but you can't sleep, and then you just hop back on your phone.
And then you're reminiscing about the things that you saw or the things that you posted, right?
Yeah.
And then it keeps playing back in your mind, and then around 2 a.m., you wake up all of a sudden. The first thing is to reach for your phone.
That I'm guilty of.
Yeah, waking up and the first thing reaching for my phone.
First thing in the morning is grabbing the phone like it's breakfast.
Yeah, doing a quick scroll. Too. A quick one.
I definitely agree.
Now, how do you guys feel about turning off notifications or going on airplane mode? Do you guys ever do that from time to time?
It's different. I think it's different for everybody because it depends on your lifestyle. Like if you're a social media influencer and you have platforms, you can like self-awareness. You can like have a certain time in the day where you post and you check your posts and then you're off and you cut your notifications off. But I mean, for me, I'm very guilty of not doing that. Like I'm going to check my phone. Like, and I don't know if it's a bad habit or not because I mean, that's my lifestyle. Like I Twitch, I do YouTube, I do TikTok. So I'm literally on my phone all day. I mean, if I'm at work, I'm checking my phone at work. So I'm guilty of not turning my.
Sometimes you'll be driving and still checking.
Oh no, I don't drive. No, I don't drive and text. That's
no, you're not texting, but you checking.
No, I don't do that either.
Right,
that's worse than texting.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so no, I don't do that while I'm driving. But like, once I'm home, it's on the floor.
Texting while driving is crazy.
Yeah,
I think it's all about discipline though. Like if you can go with your notifications on without worrying too much about it, like if you're doing something and then you check your notifications and then get back to doing something, then that's a problem. But if you can get a notification, see you got one, put it back up, keep doing what you're doing, and then like that.
We're talking about obsession, right? Has there been a time where you feel like, where's my phone? I gotta check something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, you'll be there, your phone will be there for some time, and then like,
it's right there.
No notification?
Right.
No vibrate? No.
And then after what? Is my phone working?
Checking the service. And
So that is how bad the obsessions can get.
One thing I was hearing about recently is that people can't really be bored anymore, especially because of the phones. So you don't have time to just sit there and do nothing when in the past you got your phone though. Like say you ain't got cable or something, you just sitting there.
Let me ask, when was the last time you all went to the bathroom without the phone? Like went to go sit in the bathroom without the phone.
I think it's like when our parents used to read the newspapers in the bathroom.
Now
that's where we also read.
Right there.
That's a good comparison. That's a very good comparison.
Right. So yes, we take it to the bathroom all the time because that's where we're catching up, and then we'll be sitting on there by the time
like
realize
a safe space.
Right.
For checking notifications.
Right, but then talking about sessions and all of that, right? Now, if we want to link it to addictions, so how addiction works is your brain gets into the mode of wanting more, right? So anytime you want something, you're gonna get it. Okay.
The satisfaction.
The satisfaction. So we get it one, and then we want it again, and then we want it again. You use it. Level, then it's like, okay, let me get some more. So that is where the problem is. So you get it to a certain extent, and then if you're not getting it, then you start detoxing from it. Right?
Okay.
So when you're going through detox, you also go through withdrawal, and it comes with symptoms, right? And with these things that I'm saying, I'm going to use it sometime down the line to also touch on certain points.
Okay.
So if you're going through the withdrawal, that is when your phone will be sitting doing nothing. It's not called for you. But then you go reaching it, right? Because within you're withdrawing from social media and you want to check and see what is going on. So the same thing that you do, whether it's tobacco, nicotine, drugs, or anything at all. social media is now the new addiction thing.
Yeah.
So we want to be careful because it can really get to us. That's why I was asking those questions earlier. Right. So that you can test yourself and then see where you fall.
Right.
And then
it's a dopamine hit.
It is.
It's a mouth addiction.
And everyone has their preference, whether it's Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. Everyone has their...
I have one guy on Facebook, right?
Facebook. And
he references almost every social media. So I always ask myself, like, how much time do you spend on social media?
Right.
Because he will post what is going on Twitter or X, right?
Yeah.
Reference it and then write something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he will at times write about an Instagram post that somebody did and then reference it and then write about it. But that is not his job though. Like he's a marketer, so he has his full-time job. He's not an influencer or something like that. So I always ask myself, like, how much time do you spend on all these platforms to see what is trending, what needs response, and all of that? And before you come on Facebook, it means you've also responded on those platforms.
I'm gonna tell you how social media works so crazy right now. Facebook, Instagram is connected. I'm talking about to the point where, like, if you post something on Instagram, it's automatically posted on Facebook. You post something on the story, it's going right to your Facebook story. TikTok is kind of different, but Twitter, you can connect the threads. You can have your Twitter connected to your Instagram or your threads now. Like to the point where you don't have to switch apps. You just know if you post on one platform, it's going on the next platform.
You post one button.
No, I see what you're saying. But this one, it's a post for
every.
Right? Because when you see those,
he switches to each app.
He does.
Yeah. Okay.
Because like the write-up and everything, the audience is audience tailored.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And sometimes like you would tag someone.
Oh.
Right. No, he is good. So sometimes when I want to know what is going on, I just go to his wall and then catch up.
Get all the new trending news.
Yeah. That is where I get my summary.
Yeah.
I don't have time to be roaming around.
Now I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I'll say for me, my preference is Twitter. So I'll find myself going through Twitter, catching up with everybody's day, all the news. I'll get overloaded with everything that's going on. And now I'm confused as to, like, all right, am I doing what I need to be doing right now? Am I in the right place?
Information overload and anxiety.
And sensory overload.
Right?
Yeah.
So sensory overload, you having too much things going on, you get super excited, or you could even be down for a story that is going on that has nothing to do with you.
Exactly. And that's where everyone gets the voice to chime in to everything.
For example, the Nicki Minaj and the Megan Thee Stallion beef.
Okay.
That story, that drama right there, that's a lot. It's a lot of information, a lot of things that the fans don't know nothing about. But the moment a story between a high artist or high end artist or rapper gets online, billions of people got their own opinion on why they're beefing when nobody even came out and actually said, hey, we're beefing because of this and that.
Right.
That's what I think correlates to, like, information overload.
Yeah.
It's so many people online with different stories and different, like, perspectives. They're chiming into things that has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
And then it could influence how you believe the story might go, or how
it could be your favorite artist. Now you mad because you like, well, they said.
And then sometimes you even get into a beef with your friend because your friend is supporting the other person and then you're supporting the other person. And then you start arguing about it, and then it's like, okay, who's going to get paycheck
here? A lot
here?
of anxiety and frustration.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask, anybody else a barb in here?
I'm a barb, but I'm also a stallion too. So I'm like in the middle of the conflict. Like,
I don't got no opinion.
Yeah, I don't listen to none
I
of
don't know either.
But
I just listen to the music.
Yeah.
We're here for the music.
Yeah.
I think it is like overload of information as far as like, because you hear so many sides, you hear and you get persuaded, whether you like it or not, you get persuaded by everybody's opinion. So where it used to be, you would be in your house and the people in your house opinion is all you would hear. So social media have that impact on it, but I think it's all still self.
And then the algorithm and like the different type of crowds on different platforms are different. Like TikTok, TikTok like comments, the comments, they're the meanest people.
Oh no.
Twitter?
No, TikTok comments are chill.
No.
Go to Instagram. Go to Instagram Reels comments.
Oh, okay.
Those are the worst section ever. Like
I don't know.
Yeah. When you talk about cyberbullying,
I think I agree with her.
Instagram might be worse.
And I think Instagram is partly because it's mostly picture based.
Yes, you're allowed to put GIFs on there or GIFs, whatever you call them. Yeah, you're allowed to put them on there, and so. But immediately, whatever you're thinking, you see a post, you think of something, you go to the comments, somebody has already put it there.
And it's thinking about you're thinking about the comments, but you're also thinking about, all right, how's everybody else going to view this post that I just posted? Is this the perfect picture for me to post to receive the comments that I want to receive?
I think some people do it on purpose because they know it's going to get views and attention. Like some people will post something like controversial or trifling on purpose because they know like, okay, this might go viral, and then if I post it on Instagram, I'm gonna get crazy comments. People are gonna share it. Even on TikTok, people are gonna share it all over the place, and it's gonna go viral. So they do the most craziest things ever, regardless of whether it affects their physical health, mental health. They do not care as long as they get those views, because that replaces that gives them happiness, rather than
But like. It's temporal happiness.
Yeah.
Because later on they sit and cry.
Yeah.
Right? There are some Ghanaian celebrities. I'm from Ghana. There are some Ghanaian celebrities, right?
Yeah.
Who I know personally.
Oh, okay.
That will tell you how much they sit in their homes and cry about the things that happens on social media to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then they posted that same video. And they were enjoying the benefits that Henry is talking about, right? But then now the things that people are saying is getting to them.
Yeah.
And they feel so bad about it. Right? The other thing also is, let's not forget, the internet does not forget.
That's number one.
Yeah.
The internet is undefeated right now.
Yes.
It's forever.
Like,
right? And it has no filter. It has no emotions.
No.
It has nothing.
It's literally words.
Yes. So if you're going to post anything on there and think that for today, I'm enjoying it, think about down the line. Right? I don't care what anybody chooses to post because it's your platform, right? I choose to watch it or not watch it.
Yeah.
But my thing, coming from where I'm coming from as a professional psych person, my thing is that how is that going to affect you mentally down the line? Today, you're very happy. When you're going to go to college or you're going to go looking for work and then your social media is referenced, right? Or you're going to be a professional sitting somewhere and then somebody comes up, pull your old social media post or anything like that. Are you going to be proud of your past? Right? And these are things that you put in online. At that time, you had the euphoric moment. You were too happy and didn't think much about it. And then you posted it.
Yeah.
Now you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think dependence on likes and validation. Social media has shaped I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of young minds to seek validation from social media. Whether you're 2 years down the line, you don't have an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. You're going online posting it for validation. Like, hey, this is what I did. Whether it's family or friends versus like being in person with someone and or your family, and you're showing them or expressing to them your I don't know, your what's the word for it?
Your experience?
No.
The way you feel?
No, like your achievements.
Achievements, okay.
It was on the tip of my tongue. Your achievements. Nowadays, people don't do that in person. Nowadays, people go to social media and they post their achievements. Now it's like, okay, F my family. It's a million people I don't know that I want to see, see my achievements. And I want to see what they got to say about my achievements.
Right. I don't know if I understand where you're coming from with that, but I feel like there's a much deeper meaning or reasoning behind that we could get to.
So
like what?
In terms of, all right, some people at home maybe didn't get any recognition, no validation, an acknowledgement of your accomplishment. So you might want to go to social media and say, okay, this is what I've accomplished. Sometimes we see those posts where this kid graduated high school with this many millions in scholarships. This is where they're going. You see that, that person, we're proud of that. You see other people present that as positive. They want to encourage that. All right. This person might see, okay, I want to post the same thing. This is what I accomplished. Where is my round of applause?
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, that's just how the generation works.
Yeah, that's how it evolves.
Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
And sometimes you can use it and then it becomes a motivation for somebody else.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with it. But here's the thing.
Okay.
You post it, you don't get the recognition that you wanted.
Okay.
Then what? How does that affect
like
you?
Instagram, like I said, you post it, people laugh at you instead.
Right.
Like, we don't care.
Right.
Oh, you thought you did something. We don't care. Like,
you finish an associate
now,
and you're going to post it here. People have PhD.
Yeah, you should have got a PhD. You should have got a master's.
You know what I'm saying?
Got a master's.
Like I'm 35 and then I posted that I finished my associate. Like, dude, where were you in the last 20 years?
Exactly. Exactly.
So are you ready for the passion? If you're ready for it, no problem. Right? Once you post anything on social media, remember it's an open market. Right? People are going to pay less. Some people are going to pay more. So if you're ready for it, then fine. If you're not ready for it, please stay home and then just rejoice.
Oh, but I can agree with the stay home because nowadays platforms got filters. You can turn off comments and you can turn off how many likes somebody can see. You can hide the post. Yeah, like you can just, people can just post and not care about the comments. You can't comment anyway. Or
that's my
you can like it, but ain't nobody gonna see you like it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just to be seen, not to be responded to.
So I feel like that's sort of what you're saying is what I actively try to do now. So when I post, I'm posting with the intention of, I want people to see this, yes. But I'm turning the comments off because I don't
seek validation.
Exactly. I don't need that. No, I'll leave the like counter on, but I'm not the person that gets the most likes.
Yeah.
But I leave it on with the intention of, all right, I want somebody else to also see I'm posting just to post. So whether it's 2 people that like it, 1,000 people that like it, it's still the same to me. But of course, in my mind, I'll still get the satisfaction from, all right, it reached this many
people. Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
I'll still get that satisfaction.
Me
but
personally, I definitely, like, since I started my YouTube, I definitely know, like, you're not gonna get the numbers that you want. You might want 1,000 the first video. It ain't gonna happen. But I think if you just keep going and just have that sense of purpose that you was talking about, like that, I know that this is what I'm meant to do, regardless of if it worked now, if it worked later. And I want to get y'all opinion on this. On do y'all think character and what's this called? Character and how people perceive you is the same thing. So like reputation versus character. How do y'all feel about? Do you think that your reputation is your character, or is it 2 different things?
I believe it is the same thing, and I'm gonna tell you why I think it's the same thing. Because if your character is who you are, and however you present yourself towards anybody is a reflection of your reputation. Like, you can't be 2 individuals at one time. Like, you can't just have one characteristic and then turn around and you're different another way. That's like social media. When people go on the fake YouTube videos or the fake couples, and they're fake online, but in person it's a different, you know. Yeah. So I believe reputation and character definitely correlates together. Like, that's who you are as an individual.
Right.
Well, I don't know if sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's different because I could use the same example you just used. Yeah, it's like acting. Like, you're not gonna say the person, the role that the person played, that's who they are in real life. They're a completely different person. They're just giving you what they want you to see, right? But that's not necessarily who what their personality is, or who they are, or how they act in real life. Like, just because that's what they want to portray for views and clicks, that doesn't mean that's who they are in person.
So I have a question then. Does that mean people fear of online judgment and censorship? Because if you portray a certain, okay, so you're one person behind the camera, but when you're on camera, you're a totally different person. Does that mean you fear what people say about you? So you put this act on?
No, they do it. Some people do it for a different reason. They don't do it because what they fear. Like, there's people there's adults who do like content for kids, like YouTube Kids, right?
Yeah,
and then
I've seen those.
Like they'll come on camera and they'll be super bubbly and excited on camera, like, oh my god, hi guys, and then they're doing that for the kids because they know their audience. That's who their audience is.
Yeah,
but that's not who they are. Like
they're much more.
So Harry, let me help you with this example. Right, there's this Ghanaian actor who, in most of his roles, plays like a very wicked guy.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he went to his friend's house. The friend's mom drove him out of the house because he's a wicked guy.
In the movie.
Because he always plays a wicked person.
Okay.
Right? So he got driven out of the house. So then he had to explain, man, this is not how my, it's a road I've been playing and all of that. But when you meet him in person, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Right? So yes, there could be a time where your reputation will be very different. Like when I got into public speaking and everything, I had to speak, right? I was forced to. But in person, I'm a very shy person. Right. So sometimes you might have that reputation of me that this guy's a very happy, bubbly person, and then he can talk, elaborate, explain, and all that. Yeah. But when you meet me in person, it's like, hi. Off I go, right?
Well, we do have some judgments from our audience here. If you guys want to hear?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so straight from the IG first. We have, I'm going to assume it's Rise Taki. Rise_Taki says. Raiz.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Raiz, shout out Raiz. He says, studies also have shown that heavy usage of social media is linked to increased depression. Yes.
I definitely agree.
And then we have from Ann_Keiki. Shout out my sis, big sis. Parents benefit more from social media. We can attack that at some point. As well, she added, sometimes people join social media just for the fun of it until they build a huge amount of followers.
Yeah,
that's when the high comes from the views, etc. As well, she continued that everyone on social media doesn't always want to face reality.
So she made a good point.
Yeah, some people use it as an escape from reality. Yeah.
And then over on YouTube, we have our boy Lee Kwan. Says social media discipline is a must in today's society. Should always be used for entertainment and not an escape. As well, Eric Agbanyo says enjoying the discussion. Appreciate you, Eric.
Appreciate you.
As well, The Ends Begin says, I've always said the internet is like a hammer. It can be used to build or destroy. It's up to the individual.
Yeah,
you can definitely.
Yeah, that's the most valid. Yeah, valid point. I think is how you use it.
But that is so true, and I agree 100%. But my concern is the subtle part, the unconscious part, where you're not really paying too much attention, right? You're really hammering this nail, but then it misses and then hits your finger.
Hit your finger, yeah.
Right? So sometimes, yes, I agree. It's like the hammer, but your focus is to hit the head of the nail.
Yeah.
But then it gets your finger.
Yeah. It's always going to be that one that gets your fingers, though. That's life. You're going to get that bump in the road. You're going to get that obstacle.
So be prepared and have a first aid kit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's people who try to use their platform for good, and then there's people are gonna comment, oh, you did this, why did you post it? You didn't have to post it, you're doing it for views.
Yeah, like feeding the homeless.
Yeah. So you try to build something like you said, but the hammer hits you in the face.
Right.
So do you think social media plays a good part in social isolation and loneliness?
It sure does.
Yeah.
Have anybody experienced that before?
Plays a good part in it?
Or like a big part.
Okay. Not a good part, but it has a big part in social isolation. My bad.
I see.
I can't say that I have been, because social media literally brings you, the algorithm puts you with people who got like minds. So if you like football, for example, your algorithm gonna be filled with football clips, and then there's gonna be people in there that got the same voucher, like the Bengals fans or something. You're gonna find similar minds. So I don't think it makes you lonely in that sense, but what y'all think?
But
I don't know. I've experienced like friends who've been like socially isolated and like are big on Instagram and TikTok. They don't have friends. The only thing they have is like the online virtual friend.
Right.
Okay.
And I think that goes only so far, because like the reality of it is what if you never meet these people? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you won't be able to, because there's been times where I met people online and we collaborated and we traveled and stuff like that. But I'm talking about for the people who don't actually get that opportunity to do that. They just have virtual friends. And then outside of that social media, they don't have, you know,
any friends.
Yeah, they don't have any friends or that actual personal contact. Like human beings need physical contact.
Yeah, physical, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We say that the physical contact, I agree with that. We do need the physical interaction, the real socialization when we say social.
Mm-hmm.
That's been completely, I don't want to say it's erased, but it's been degraded down where, you know, let's say if you know 10 people in real life, you know 1,000 on the internet, you know 1,000,000 on the internet. But some people today, they can't have the real conversation they want to have with the 10 people that they can with the 1,000 or the 1,000,000.
Yeah.
So that's where the run to the internet and the escape goes. But I think right now today, like for me, I'm a person that prefers in-person real conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's discuss whether I like the topic or don't like the topic,
Right.
whether I agree, don't agree.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to have a discussion, even if I disagree or agree, let's make a discussion out of it. Let's see where we can build this conversation to. We don't do that anymore, or as much as prior to, because now today I can say my opinion and I don't have to care about what this person says, what this person says, because one, I might not see them, or two, it's everyone's a little bit, I don't want to say narcissistic, but
has narcissistic tendencies.
You know, everyone's worried about themselves. So now with social media, you really don't have to worry about anybody else. Yeah, you can worry about just yourself.
And you don't.
People, you can, my bad.
No, you straight.
But you can tell, like, when someone goes to make a mean ass comment, you can tell they put no thought into how the other person felt. They just said what was on the first thing on their mind. They was just like, okay, I'm gonna say this, and I don't really care about how the person feels behind the screen. Now, I don't never see them.
Yeah, there's no repercussions for anything you say.
Our generation doesn't.
In person,
that's
runs from repercussions.
Cyberbullying is like a real thing. Like I went viral. I went viral on TikTok for a funny, innocent video, and I'm like going through the comments, and I'm like, okay, these people are mean. These people are mean.
But at any moment, you could just click. You know, so that's why I feel like it is real if you feed into it. Mm-hmm. It's like if you it's like Ghost. If you believe in Ghost, then you're scared. But if you just, you know what I mean, you don't really look into it, you don't feed into it, you won't. It's no cyberbullying. You're not bullied.
But when it starts to affect your real life,
right? Like what about,
that's the issue. See, like you might not like. I don't believe in ghosts, but like if you don't believe in ghosts, say. And you're like, oh, I don't believe in it, so nothing's gonna happen.
I'm not scared of them.
If the ghost throws something at your face, you know what I mean?
You might be a little spooked.
Yeah, you're gonna be spooked because it's affecting your physical life. Yeah. It's not just
there are some comments online that you might think that it doesn't affect me, but once you see it,
you can't unsee it. Like that's something
it affects you.
I see racism comments on other people's stuff, and you see it, and it does, but it's not gonna ruin my day. You know, I'm not gonna.
It might not ruin your day, but then you're gonna react to it at some point.
It's gonna get
somehow.
Like,
right. So I'm yet to have someone convince me that I don't care about what happens on social media. You know, it's still me.
I have to push back because.
But your comments are off. So
see my head. Okay, my comments are off. But it's my own self-awareness, though. Mm-hmm. My own self-awareness tells me that, hey, I know that's not true about myself.
Right.
So I'm secure enough in me.
So, Cozy, are you suggesting to me that you never be affected in one way or the other by a social media comment?
Never.
Or post?
Now, see,
you've never been influenced?
Influenced is different, though. Affected? Yes. Influenced? No.
Okay. So you've been affected, but not influenced? Okay. So now, have you bought something because you saw it somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. Is that an influence?
I think that's an influence. Yeah.
That's an influence.
Have you made a point? Harry, I'll drop. So, have you made a point or Like, okay, you saw something on social media, right? And now we meet in person and then we're having a conversation and you reference it. Or it comes into your thoughts and then you add it into your presentation.
Yes, but okay, give me an example of like, okay, I'm gonna say yes, but where I say the difference between affected.
Do you follow sports?
Yes.
Okay, let me give you this example. In the Spanish league, right? La Liga. There's been a thing going on about racism.
Oh, yes.
Right?
I saw the Vinicius
Jr. Thank you very much. So now, your fight against racism, has that affected, influenced, or impacted your fight or your thought process or all of that? In any shape or form?
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Points were made.
For sure.
But I could argue, though, that I already was aware of the racism.
But they helped, right?
Okay.
So now, let me expatiate. So now, racism is real.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
That's your position.
100%.
Okay. Now, for a whole league,
yes,
in a country like Spain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? So now it magnifies it for you, right?
Yeah.
So now, if you are to go and then make a presentation or you're having a discussion about racism, you reference that as part of your point.
Your own personal example.
Yes,
you're going to use that because that's what everybody's seen.
Now, that's true. Yeah. That's true. If I have to come and present it to somebody, then yes, you have to use examples that people can relate to. You have to have your own personal experience brought into it. But I can't say, for me, I can't say that social media or, all right, the fight against racism, that fight over there in Spain is the same fight I've been having since I was in second grade. So
now it solidifies your thoughts or your position.
My experience from second grade on in life up to now has solidified.
So now this is my point.
But what if
your social influence does affect or shape your thoughts? It's not always your personal experience.
Okay.
Right? It's not always your personal experience.
That's true.
Because some of the things that we even fight for did not happen to us.
Oh, George Floyd. That didn't happen to me.
Right? We have too many Americans relocating to Africa, right? It did not happen to them.
Yes,
but it's true. One too many happening in the society.
Oh, yeah.
And we're tired of it.
And we address it. Yes. That's
we've joined much to protest.
Yes.
But we've never been direct victims.
That's true.
So we are socially affected.
I hear you. Now, bringing it back to social media.
Correct.
And the internet, the online. I've had this argument whether online is as real life. That one, we can debate that one all day. But I think for me, the person that I am today, online, I can't bring it to my real life. I can't do that. For me, I understand today in our generation, that's common. Now that's commonplace. I understand that could be most people, I could say. But for me, I don't know if I can say like, all right, this comment that someone said, oh, why'd you even dress like that? Or that won't affect me as much as if I hear it in real life and hear somebody behind my back say, oh, look at the shoes he's wearing, or oh, look at the sweater he's wearing. You know, I appreciate it. Thank you, Madasi. Why? Yeah. So, but I don't think, for me, real life, I've experienced too much real life for the internet to come and like ruin my day or ruin my mental. You know,
I feel you.
But
that's just me.
You though, you know what I mean? It's a million
not everyone
people that's dealing with mental battles.
Yeah, like
seeking the validation from the internet, or some people that are not confident or lack love in a household that most people probably do have, where their family, molded them to have confidence and molded them to learn how to love themselves regardless of who are the naysayers or whatever. But then there's the people that do go on social media, and I see it a lot on TikTok, where I see personal people dealing with battles, and they go on TikTok and they're this whole new person, but behind the screens they're dealing with a whole bunch of mental battles.
Okay, not to take over, but let me bring up one point. Do you think, okay, for me, I remember vividly my time in life before Instagram. Like I was outside experiencing real life. Yeah. I remember my time before social media was commonplace, before iPhones, before Androids. I remember that time. Mm-hmm. So I think that might be a little bit of maybe the disconnect to where I'm saying, because for me, I vividly lived the real life before
the social media.
Now, when social media came, I can't lie and say it didn't come in completely into my life, you know, but I was secure in who I was. That's a lie. Because I experienced high school and then, you know,
I'm like, but I was cozy. I was too comfortable now.
I know, but
yes, you shouldn't be bullied on social media. It's like nobody's gonna come, you know what I mean, change that for you. So you got to do it yourself.
So I think the question was, has social media made us more on social, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Without that, yesterday evening. In the house, we found ourselves 5 people. Everyone was doing something different on a gadget. Yeah. Right. Yes. I was trying to compute something. My wife was working on work stuff. The kids were playing on and then it was like 30 minutes. No one was talking to each other.
You take a moment, you realize it at the moment.
Yeah. And that is the point I'm making, right? Mm-hmm. So subconsciously, it's like, okay, we're all busy. We're all doing something. Then you catch yourself like, why are we all here? Yeah. And we're all at the same table. Right? Yeah. And it's been like 30 minutes. No one's talked to each other.
Cool. I can relate to that because me and my roommates, we're all like very close friends, right? Mm-hmm. But we don't talk when we're in the apartment. We're all in our own rooms, and then we if we need something, we just be like, hey, bro, you got this, or hey, bro, I need that. And I know instead of knocking on his door and just asking him, because I know he's home, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to text him.
I know the living room doesn't get used. Huh?
No, we do not go in the living room at all. Like,
so that is the part where now it leads to social anxiety.
Yes.
So we live this kind of life where we're very happy, we're very bubbly, we're a different person. The perception versus person. Yeah. So we live this happy life on social media, right? Mm-hmm. But then we meet in person. That's like, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So it's making us socially awkward. Right.
Yeah.
And then now you also have to go do stuff in public, whether official capacity or unofficial capacity. Right. And then you start panicking because you don't know how to act right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this thing that I'm going to say going to be accepted? Because what we text is very different. Mm-hmm. Right. Even the shorthands and the way we text it,
abbreviations,
the abbreviations and all that is very different.
Yeah.
So you can't go out there and be like W whatever and SMH and so it becomes difficult. Like, okay, now I have to put my words into constructive sentences and make meaning to this audience. So now it gives you that social anxiety. Mm-hmm. And then also you go places. Yes, I understand. I think you were mentioning about, you have that 10 people, but then you have hundreds online, right? Yes, I've been places where people be like, oh, hi, Philip, how you doing? I'm like, I'm doing well, and you? Because I don't know who you are. Right? And it's like, oh, I know you from Facebook. I'm like, oh, okay. Right? At that point, there's nothing really to talk about. So we have too many friends, but we don't have friends. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's no doubt that it's affecting us, right?
Yes. And we have friends in the chat that have things to say.
Let's hear what they got.
Yeah. Okay. So we have our good friend here. I believe Ninjak Animak. Ninjak Animak says, I don't think social media makes you lonely. I think it's the easiest thing to run to when you start to feel lonely. And then as well, Lee Kwan says, do you feel the positives of social media outweigh the negative effects? I believe we'll touch on that one soon here. Mm-hmm. And then I believe continuing on, it says, the end begins, says, I know me better than anyone on the internet. I don't let it bother me. Mm-hmm. They don't know me. Which is kind of, I think that's a little bit of what I was trying to get to. And then Lee Kwan says, completely agree. I feel it comes down to mental stability.
Yeah. I agree.
And then Kofi K. Oh, yeah. Let's go some comments because sometimes people are trying to tap. Hey, hold on. So, he says, Kofi K says, let go some comments because sometimes people are trying to tap you. Grace as well. Oh,
Kofi K, the musician.
Oh.
So he tried to tell me that when he sings, and then we comment on it, he doesn't care. Kofi K, please come back.
Kofi K.
Kofi K, come back.
Come back to the chat, Kofi K, and answer that one for us, okay? Let us know.
I can't, because I just can't.
Yes.
Like, believe. I mean, I'm not saying that nobody's mentally strong enough to be like, I'm going to ignore the comments. But y'all can't tell me that at one point in your life, you weren't affected by...
You're not dumb, but I agree with you.
Affected by anything that anybody has said under your comments. I'm pretty sure y'all done had...
Man, one way or the other, Malik.
There's no way. There's no way you're just like this shield and you're like...
I can't admit...
And that is why I let go earlier because I'm not forcing you to admit it, right? But then, like,
I don't want to sound like a stone cold...
No, intentionally or unintentionally.
Yeah.
Something has affected
you.
Okay, so let me say this here.
It's not like it's changed who you are.
No.
It's not like, it moved you so much.
But then thought about it. Like once you see something, especially when it is about you, whether you've been like deeply impacted by it or not, you've seen it and then you've thought about it. That's an impact. When you can see something and you think about it again, that's impacted you.
That's impacted. It's affected. Influence.
Yeah, so that means
influence means I've been influenced to do something about it. I can't say
you never seen a dress combination where you're like, man, this looks good.
I've seen it. Yeah.
And then try to, step it up.
But I think that's different from the person commenting in your post directly saying, hey, I don't like this. You should wear this instead. And then you going to change it.
Okay, so now here's the thing. You might not go to change it, right? And then it's not like, because of that comment, I really don't care, right? But of course, you don't have your comments on, so
at one point in time, I've had it on, and I've received comments. Okay, so
you turned your comments off, so
here's what I can say.
Influence to turn your comments off.
All right. Why did you turn it off?
Okay, here's where for me it's not. I'm avoiding something or I'm avoiding comment. For me, for example, right? I don't. It's gonna sound arrogant if let me say. All right, for me, I experience real life things that I do in real life. It's for me first in my own experience, right? For me first. If I'm on a plane somewhere, if I'm in a new city, it's for me first. I'll take all the pictures, thousands of pictures. It's for me. The 5 pictures that I put out for the internet, that's for the internet. So whatever the internet wants to do with that, I've accepted it.
So then why don't you allow them to comment on it?
Because it's my page.
But then you're putting it out there. You're posting it for them.
Internet
why is your comment on my page?
But you're posting it on the internet. So
so Instagram has given me the ability to say,
hey. They didn't used to do that. They only did that because of the bullying thing. Right. But originally, my idea is if you're putting something in public, everyone should have the ability to comment.
Opinion.
Everybody should have the ability to comment on the thing. And if you're taking that away, it's eliminating free speech.
Okay,
right? And I get it. I get it. I get it.
That's a good one.
I get it. It's your page, right? And you're like, oh, why are you on my page? Don't comment on my page. But at the end of the day, you decided to put it on there. You could have kept it in your camera roll and could have viewed it. Every time you think about it, you could have viewed it yourself. Oh yeah, I remember when I did this. But instead, you decided to.
But my argument could be, I'm not seeking the validation of.
We're not saying
because comments and likes are still the same acknowledgement.
But then why would you post it?
You said that you posted it.
Yeah. For the internet.
All right. If I'm gonna be real, bro, the women, bro. All right. I posted for the women, bro. All right. I said it, yo. It's only everything on my Instagram, my socials is for the women, bro. I don't care, bro. I've said it, bro. Y'all drew it out of me, bro. You get me now? Anybody feel me?
I mean, basically everything. Everything.
Some, when the women comment or like it, you like it.
You get influenced.
Now, see, I don't need all the women commenting on.
There's just a few of them, huh? All right, let's stop it. Let me not get it. But okay, so let's look at the issue of being alone and being lonely. Right? Yeah. So it's a bit different. I could be alone, but then I'm not lonely.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I could be in the midst of people
and be lonely.
And be lonely.
Yeah.
So I'm not alone, right? But then I'm lonely.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about the effect of the social media, on our lives, and then how it causes loneliness, right? Or being alone. Yes, it can do either one. Because sometimes we could be here, and then you're stuck on your phone. So you're not alone, right? But then you're not lonely, right? But then sometimes it's like, okay, let me excuse myself and then be alone and then still be connected, right? And then sometimes too, you could be connected and then still be lonely.
Right.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So let's look at it that way and then see how it's affecting us one way or the other. Okay. As I said yesterday, we were in a group, but we were all lonely, right? Doing whatever we were doing.
Right.
But then we're not alone.
Now I could say we're also not alone with some of the comments here.
Okay.
Let me burn through some of them here.
I hope Kofi K came back.
Oh yes, so our own Kofi K has said, "I'm here. The negative comments will come, and you should expect those. Motivate yourself with the negativity. And don't get too excited about the positive comments as well. Just be focused."
So it does affect him.
Facts.
So it's affected you, Kofi.
It's still
because he's learned how to navigate through the negative comments and the positive comments. So it has affected him because he's found a way that helps him.
Right. So effect is not negative, right?
Yeah.
So,
it doesn't have to be negative.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we also have our own Kojo Stan says, "I think people are more influenced by comments made in person than online. Y'all influencing him right now, and he's not reading your comments off social media." I side with my guy. Mike G, I hear you as well. I believe we have Ninja Animek also says, "I think social media use always impacts your physical relationships. Social media use always impacts your physical relationships, mostly in the realm of expectations of others towards you." So I think that might be a little bit of that. For me, I don't have any expectations of anybody from me. So I don't need to see whatever it is that you expect or whatever change that you expect.
Okay, well, I have something to say. Have y'all ever dealt with something and then you go on Facebook or Instagram and they got a meme for it and you're wondering in your head like, how do they know that?
Yeah,
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
how does that
Algorithm
correlate
at work.
with me? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So has that like the expectation?
Yeah.
Back to the expectation part. Like for the relationships, like I've experienced it where I'm in my head like, oh, so I want flowers or I want this. And then I go on social media and it'd be like, get you a man that's going to get you some flowers. And then you like, hold on, okay. So the expectations for certain people becomes higher now because when I go on social media, it's like, okay, well, if I'm not the only one saying it, then social media algorithm is saying it.
Right, that's the standard.
That's the standard now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I agree. Like I see the Valentine's Day stuff coming up. You gotta get your girl a rose petal in the hotel. Like that's what it feel like.
They done gave you a whole pamphlet of gifts that you can go out and go buy versus like a man actually taking the time out to be like, okay, well, what does she actually like in person versus going online and seeing what somebody else said you should get your significant other, you know? So I think the expectations for social media has become so high because everybody's opinion is it should be this and it should be this, like, you know what I mean? Versus the reality of things.
Yeah, I think that's where it comes to the person, like each individual knowing that, you know, you can't let that affect you, you know?
So Harry, you're not letting it affect you, but then the party involved is affecting them and they are not affecting you.
What do you mean by that?
It's Valentine coming up, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother you what social media posts, right?
No,
about what events or what.
I already know what
you're gonna get.
Yeah, what I have to do. So I already know. You ask the person themselves, like.
Oh, so you ask?
No, I don't ask exactly like, oh, what do you want, or like, but you talk to them, listen, you know,
you find
what you want.
So that's what I'm saying. Probably their expectations were influenced by social media.
Oh no,
and now it's affecting you.
I don't think so. I don't think you know. For some people, it's not like
no. I'm not being like I'm not saying exactly your person, right, or whoever. But what I'm saying is that sometimes we see trips that people are taking, and then you're like, man, right? Or you seeing the flowers come up, right? then it's like, okay, I could do with a flower, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe if you don't even get the flower and then get something else, then your expectations are not met.
For example, I'm gonna give a good ass example.
Let me hear it.
Okay. About 70% of men do this on Valentine's Day. The hotel, the roses on the floor, I mean, that's an
70%?
expectation.
What's 70%, bro?
I'm just saying, like, the idea of, okay, on Valentine's Day, the first idea that pops up in most men's head is, let me go get a hotel with the balloons and the flowers on the floor. Yeah. And then for every female, the expectation for a man is that, okay, he's going to go, on Valentine's, I better get a hotel with flowers on the ground and balloons in the sky or whatever. And then you go on Instagram and it's the same exact shit.
I also think, just to butt this in, that it used to be the same way before social media. It was just in the neighborhood and in the community. So like you would have friends inside, like neighbors talk about like, oh, my husband did this for Valentine's. So now she expect that. So I think it was before social media, but social media just hit it way harder.
Yeah, it made it more global.
I'm not talking about when they used to talk about it in person. I'm talking about right now in this generation, the kids that didn't grow up with personal experience of like hearing somebody say what they got for Valentine's Day or seeing it. It's online. So now they're seeing it online. They're not seeing it from like my dad did this for my mom, and you know what I mean? Like internet.
So I think
like
some of that, when it comes to relationships, I feel like a little bit there's a percentage of it that's gonna play a part in how you were raised back home as well. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it might not even be like you said, some people, I feel like that's the problem right now, is we don't have enough examples in real life that people can look to and see amongst ourselves. A lot of people are very much on their own, in their own world, in their own bubble. Mm-hmm. But before, maybe in the household, you saw what dad did on the 14th. You saw what, you saw these things. So that's where the influence. Now it's, all right, I'm seeing what Lil Durk did for India. And that's just not everybody. Mm-hmm.
So the ones that we see at home, no doubt, right? Because that's where it started from for the most part. Yeah. But the ones that we see on social media, and it's repetition.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it makes you think everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Brother.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Once you keep seeing something and then keep seeing it and keep seeing it, it gets to a point where it becomes ingrained in your mind.
Yeah.
And that's true.
You like, commercials repeat so much. It's not because they didn't think you didn't see it the first time.
Yeah.
But then they try to make sure that you can even repeat the commercial.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you see these things come up. There are some vacation sites that keeps coming up on your feed, right? And then it comes to a point you're like, okay, I got to go to Dubai.
Yeah. Right.
Hey.
Yeah.
Right. So, social media and its impact, effect, or all of that on us is real.
Yeah.
Right.
You find yourself, for example, like you said, with the
most
you see on Instagram,
I agree with you.
You see like the trips and the nice places in Bali, and you see people on it, and then you find yourself. You can't tell me you haven't found yourself saving it to your Instagram.
All right.
I think it affects more people. Like everybody, it affects everybody differently.
Oh yeah, I agree.
For some people, it affects them a lot to the point where they have to do everything that they see.
Right.
Like it's like the fear of missing out. They have to do everything they see. Right. And then other people, like, they don't really care. They do some things and then they'll be like, oh, let me save this. Oh, that was cool. I'll actually do that. Or then they'll be like, nah, that's all right. But me personally in my life, I'm not going to do that. Right.
Yeah.
So it's
because some of the trips you can't afford.
Yeah. I think it's a balance of knowing what you can do and what you can't do. And some people don't know how to navigate that. So.
I don't want to be a little too, I don't want to turn it into a war or nothing. But all right, moment of honesty here. But difference between, like you just said, repeat what you said in terms of, because where I want to bring it to is, are women more influenced by some of these things, the materials that we see, like you said, the Valentine's Day, saving that post, this vacation spot? Are women doing that or are men doing that? Like,
I think.
Let me know.
I think it's both.
I think it's both parties.
Okay.
Now, women. I'm not going to say women aren't influenced by like the romantic side of things, because I mean, every woman wants a romantic person,
right?
But you can't say that it's just women, because it's men too. Some men don't have certain like capabilities to be romantic, so sometimes you can go to Pinterest or the internet and see what type of ideas you can come up with to make your significant other happy on Valentine's. So, I mean, the influence can go both ways.
But the FOMO of it.
I've never had the fear of missing out, because if I wanted to do something, I'll go do it. If I feel like it's not for me, I'm not gonna do it. But I do find myself liking things like, oh yeah, like he said, like, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is nice. This looks good. You know what I mean? But
yeah, like for me, like when I watch sports. Like if I see someone playing basketball or soccer, like I want to go play the next day.
That's true.
And sometimes, your schedule's busy, but like it makes me want to go do it. So like it's what we are influenced by is different for men and women, but I think it's still the same idea,
Like for the women, they buy most of their stuff because they saw somebody wearing it.
No.
Instagram.com/Shane. Instagram.com/Fashion.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because, I mean,
you sure?
It's different because female, I mean, it's like clothes is different.
Hey, I watched the stock price. Yeah,
I don't think it's just even with clothes. It's not just women. Because
it's men.
Like if I go on all my shopping apps, you'll see like a lot of clothes in my cart that
women buy more than men buy.
I don't know.
Yeah, they do.
Did you say you don't know?
No, they do.
That's why
when you go.
This is where the mathematics come in.
If you go to like a TJ Maxx right now,
yes,
the men's section is.
Thank you very much.
And the women's section is.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Because that's the audience. So
you can deny all you want. If you have a male and a female in the house, look into their closet. Who has more?
Okay, that's kind of funny. Me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I have a lot of clothes.
Yeah, I have a lot.
More than your sister?
Huh?
More than your sister?
Oh no, she has more.
Okay, that's the point.
But just to add this, I think that women influence men. So like, as far as like, if a girl like what I got on, and then that's what I'm buy. You know what I'm saying? I'm
that's
not
what
doing
I'm
it
post.
Exactly. I'm not doing it for the validation of other men. I'm doing it
for the validation of
women, because that's the influence.
Yeah. So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a double-sided coin, I think. I think it's good
a whole
and bad.
Different rabbit hole than what we get here for. Trust.
Because I think you do it for the right reasons, then it's good. But if you do it for the wrong reason, like I'm not gonna steal to get what I want. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna do it for like what I feel is immoral. But yeah, I still want to get what I want. So it's kind of like I think it could be good. It's good for me as far as I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the game, so I have to be here anyway.
I'm in the game, yeah.
So Instagram/Cozy Malik.
But you can't comment though.
You can't comment.
I don't want no comment.
Yeah, can't comment.
But I don't think I got the fear of missing out either, though. But like, I do want to do everything. Like, I don't got the adventurous type. I'm not trying to jump out of airplanes or nothing. But I want to go to the places like Italy, go to Bali, go to these places because I see people going there, and then I'm like, oh, I want to experience that, even if I don't like it.
Yeah. So like, have your friends ever planned something and then you weren't able to go because you had to go somewhere else, right?
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
They talk about it in the group chat or they post it. Like,
yeah.
Did you have a feeling that, oh dang, I wish I was there? Like, you know what I mean?
I would say but then it would go into I'll be at the next one. It would go straight into from one to the other. Like, oh, I wish I was there. But I'm gonna catch the next.
But then that goes into the fear of missing out because you don't want to miss out again because you saw how much fun they were having. So now you want to.
Yeah, that's super valid.
The trips. I've been there. Like, damn, where y'all going? Puerto Rico? Oh, damn, I'm gonna catch y'all the next one.
Yeah.
But see, if I don't seek the validation, how do you know if I did or didn't go to Puerto Rico? I think that's one thing where this FOMO thing, I think that's really become like a real part of this social media thing where for me, that's why I was pushing back so hard because for me, there's some experiences that I would like to post, but I'm not going to post it because evil eye. I don't know who's watching, dude. So for me, that's where I don't want to say I'm strategic with how I post, but I'm strategic with how I post. So
I have a question for you. Yes. Like, have you ever thought about visiting Paris?
I want to go to Paris.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, have you seen pictures on the internet of Paris and all that?
Yes.
Like, Paris looks nice, Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
But like, if you were to go there, if you didn't have the internet, right, at all, and you went there in real life, you would not want to revisit.
And that could be true.
Yes, you would not want to revisit because the city is trash.
And so
there's really nothing to do. It's just scenery, and then there's trash all over the streets. They don't really they don't really clean. It's not.
I believe there's a word for that where the disappointment that comes with something you expected.
But you got influenced by social media and seeing the pictures and your expectation versus the reality of going there yourself, and now you're like, dang, I don't want to come back. But on the internet, right, you're gonna like, sometimes you want to be like, oh yeah, I went to Paris, just to say I went to Paris. I travel the world, you know. So you're gonna take,
who are you
check the box?
So then you're gonna take it's to check the box, but you're gonna take a picture, but you're not gonna make your picture look dirty. You're not gonna show the trash on the street. You're gonna take a picture of the nice scenery, like of the nice area. You're not gonna show the homeless man.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Like you're not gonna show that part.
I agree with that. But
so I think that's a part of the validation aspect of it as well. So,
but the influence though,
you got influence to go in there because you saw the nice city, you saw the nice Eiffel Tower. It looks nice. I want to stand at the top, look down, and see everybody, right?
Yeah.
So you want to go because you saw that's what you can do. You can see all the stuff that you can do when you go there. All that on social media.
Right. And when I post it, the women know I can go there.
The whole gif here is acknowledging that we've been influenced in one shape or form.
Yes.
From social media, whether it's good or bad.
I think from just any sort of media. To be honest, because even like you can even say with the older generation, like they got influenced by the stuff they saw on TV or anything as well. So. Yeah, it's not just
So, like talking about repetition, right? A brand becomes a household name that if even you're looking for something similar, you still reference that brand, right? So like the example I have is like relating to Ghana, right? Yes. So there is a toothpaste called Pepsodent, and they had this commercial where they ran so much and it became a household product. Yep. Subsequently, there were too many other toothpaste brands. But then when your mom is sending you to go get even another toothpaste, she would say, go get me the Pepsodent with the red box.
They don't say toothpaste.
No. The Pepsodent with the red box is
close up.
It's Colgate, but don't say Pepsodent because it's that much ingrained into culture.
Right.
The point where
every bar soap was key soap.
Yes. Right. But there's different brands, but you're going to call it that.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and every other one is Omo. So, you know... the examples can go on and on and on. But then the point I'm making is that repetition makes things really stick, right? So when we can argue all we want, and I'm not saying anyone in here, but wherever you are, as to how social media is impacting you, that is perfectly fine. But my thing is take a conscious stock of how it's impacting you and do that analysis and then see how. If you want to continue that path, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
If you have to make any changes, then you make it. Just like with addiction, right? Somebody gets addicted to alcohol, and then you tell them or you try to convince them they are addicted. They'll tell you no.
Yeah.
Right? But then they get up every morning and the first thing they do is to drink. If they don't drink, they can't function. Right? Yeah. And then the next thing they do is after a while without a drink, they want some more. Is that not what you're doing with your social media though?
Yeah.
But then you tell me you're not addicted to it. I'm not arguing with you that you are or not. But the point I'm making is that you always have to assess the situation and then make a conscious effort as to where you have to cut back and then where you have to improve, right? Because it does impact us one way or the other. There are times where I was making the point about use, tolerance, and then addiction, right? So now we all in the social media world, so we all use it, no problem. Then we get to using it like 4 hours a day. right? We build that tolerance.
Yeah.
And then between all the platforms, you go into 6 hours a day, right? Yeah. And then you're now getting addicted to it to the point that if you don't have it, you feel the withdrawal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You feel the withdrawal. It's like, where's my phone? Or where's my tablet? Or where is this? Right? I got to check what is going on.
Yeah.
Even sometimes it's just sitting and it's like, Facebook.
You know, let me just go see.
Let me just go see what's going on. So that withdrawal kicks in, and then now you have to feed it. Right? And then after a while, you put it down, and it's like, oh, Instagram. Right? So that's happened. So my point is that social media is now their new addiction.
Yes.
If we like it or not. So let's treat it as such, and then we can be able to have some help. Yeah. If you ignore it and then think, oh, it's not true.
Or be in denial.
Or being in denial, just like any addict.
Problem.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
To be like, oh, I'm not influenced by it. But once you are like being self-aware of an addiction is how you get over an addiction.
Yeah.
That's
but keep telling yourself that you're not addicted, but you're living in that, and everybody's experienced some type of addiction with social media. I have.
Yeah.
That's when you get to a point of knowing when, okay, so how can I minimize being on social media so I won't become so addicted to the hand and mouth? Like your body gets accustomed to lifting up a phone. You did it so much every day for, like you said, 4 hours. You're doing this for 4 hours. Now every day you got a habit of picking up your phone for 4 hours or scrolling. It's the addiction and like the movements in your hand and like the
Okay.
I think for me, really, it's just more about not even just social media, but it's just screens in general. Just the screens in general. Like sometimes I won't go on social media and I'll be on my laptop.
Yeah,
and I'll just like, or even a book, right?
Yeah,
I won't read an actual
book, hard copy.
I won't read it. I can like, it's gotten to a point where like I kind of can't. I can't.
Yeah.
So I have to read it on a screen.
Right.
I can't read it on a paper book anymore because either I'll fall asleep or like I'll just get disengaged.
Like the screen's not like the pages aren't moving.
Yeah,
you're moving the pages versus like here you can just.
Yeah,
or it can read to you, or you know what I mean.
You want to read to us?
Oh yes, let me read some of these comments here. So first off, we have I believe the beginning or the end begins says every cause has an effect, and then we have Kojo Stan says social media is all of us. Without it, we are still affected by each other in various ways. The only difference is the speed of influence on social media versus in person.
Yeah.
Then Lee Kwan says, what is a reasonable age to start allowing your child to have social media or a social media account? And then the end begins says, well, he suggests, I'd say 13 with restrictions. And I believe some parents have like a cloned version of their kids' social media. Yeah. And then Lee Kwan says, I love the clone idea because you can never be too safe. I was watching way too much inappropriate stuff at a young age because of the restrictions. It's too easy to work around. Kids are too curious. And then, and the end begins says, great talk, guys. New sub. We appreciate you.
I don't think, kids seeing certain things at a certain age is bad, right? But I don't think them being exposed to certain things is all that bad because they're going to have to know those things eventually. They're going to have to see it eventually in their life, right? But I think I think it's rather if they see those things on their own, you have to talk to them that, hey, this is real life. This is what people decide to post and do on the internet, right? And then you have to ingrain your own morals into your kids. So they're going to be on social media regardless. There's not different from when they're 13, 12, 16. Or 15 or 16. They're still going to be influenced by those certain things. So I think it's you as a parent. You need to tell them like, hey,
molding. Yes,
right. This is what's right and this is what's wrong. This is what we're going to do. This is what we don't do. And if you see this.
Harry, help me understand.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that regardless of the age, the content does not matter?
Well, it matters.
Oh, okay.
It matters, but what I'm trying to say is the age is. I think it's like I'm not gonna let you get a phone when you're 11, but I'll wait till you're 12. Like, what's really the difference?
Okay, what?
Because if a kid. Like if a kid sees someone picking up a vape and vaping and oh that looks cool, I want to try it, right? But what's the difference between them trying it at 11 versus 12? You know what I mean?
So psychologically, right? The mind level of maturity at each age is a bit different.
Yeah, I get it.
So at a certain age, they'll be able to decipher between, what is good and what is not. At some age, certain information is also not too good for it. That's why I was trying to get the clarification. Yeah. Okay. Because, at 18, the level of impact of some information or how you view something is a bit different from when you were 13.
Yeah.
Right. But I agree with you.
Yeah. But I think
having the phone itself is not really much of a problem. Okay, let me give you this example, right? I have 3 kids. One is 11 now. She had a phone when she was 10.
Yeah.
Okay. The other one was 8. And then he also wanted a phone.
Yeah.
But then the 10-year-old at the time is not too keen on computers and phones and all that, right? So she wanted it more for necessity. Or definitely she's going to be on social media, but then more so for necessity, right? But then the boy, even at 8, even 6, is all about games and tablets and all of that. So for him, I've told him, you're not getting a phone till you're 12, 13, 14. What is going to be the difference?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Because you know your own kid.
Exactly. So what is the difference between 10 and 13? The difference is that maybe at 13, he'll be able to know that, okay, at this point, I have to put it down. At this point, if I give him a phone,
he's not putting it down.
Like he will not know me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Though?
I get it. I get it. It's understanding.
But I see what you're saying. It is on the parent. Because as a parent, though, it's what you want to do. Because if I say I want to give my kid social media at 12, then that's what I'm going to do. And I got to live with the repercussions and consequences with that. But yeah, I feel like it's situation based.
Yeah. Because I also think too, like, it's difficult now because your child might not have a phone. They go to school. Their friend got a phone.
Yeah, that's
they on their friend phone.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't really matter because they're gonna see the things anyway. So you sheltering them and trying to hide them from the world is not very smart because they're gonna see it anyway. So you should have a talk with them right before they even go to school. Hey, if you hear anything about this, this is what.
Or having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And like asking them like, hey, how was school? What'd you learn from school? Did you be with your friends? And I'm pretty sure they're gonna say, hey, I was on my friend's phone or something like that,
Exactly.
I was sneaking in that.
Right. But like it depends on the parents though, because parents make sneaky kids because they're not open or they're not.
If your parent is open with you, you're gonna want to share.
Yeah,
you might be as open as possible, but there are certain things they'll keep away from you until some level. Because they know, like at this point, there are certain things you're not going to talk to your parents about.
Until the statute of limitation,
exactly expires. Right? Because there are certain things that okay. Though if I talk to them about it, they're going to talk to me about it and they explain and all that because they're that cool.
Yeah.
But then this is one that I don't want them to know that I'm doing or I've seen. Right? So you're still going to keep it and then play around it. Right? So yes, I agree with you 100%. It's the relationship you have with your kids, how you raise them, and then all of that. But then talking about the age and the use of social media also. So now... when my daughter had a phone and she started going on TikTok, I remember one of my friends was like, no, you got to delete that app. They don't have to be on there and all that. And I was like, if I delete it and then she downloads again, like,
that's the new
at this point, as she said, you're sneakier than that.
Yeah.
They waste. We gathered their first tablets. We put parental control on it. That same night, the guy bypassed the parental control. I was like, it's past 8 o'clock. Why is he not bringing the tablet? Because it should be shut down.
Right.
He was like, oh, that. And then she was asking the girls, how could you guys not do it, right?
Yeah.
So I know, okay, you're going to beat me to that game. So now bring it physically to me, right?
Okay.
So now, with the TikTok and stuff, we have a business. And neither my wife or I is very TikTok-y and all that. So now we had to rely on her to be editing the videos for TikTok. So if I had not allowed her to be on it and then know how it works, I couldn't get that benefit. So it comes to how you manage it and then channeling the energy right? And the knowledge and resource that they've acquired from there to the right place so that they don't use it for the negative.
That's where I have to ask. I had to ask. So, from your analysis or what you see today, what would you say is the range, the age range? Because, you know, some people might not know whether 12, 13, 15, what age range would you say is today, based on today, for the phones to come and be introduced? And
okay, let me give you some dynamics and then I'll get into the range. For some kids, they may be left at home, or by the time they come back from school, the parent is not there, right? And they have to get off the bus themselves, come home, key kids, right? So they need the phone to be able to communicate with their parents, to let them know I'm home, I'm safe, and all of that. So that will influence, right? So stuff like that, those necessities. Outside of that, I think that maturity and understanding is more important than the age. As I said, like, my boy, it's not that he's not mature, but his concept of technology and being on the screen is very different. Right? And I've told him too many times, so if he watches this and sees it, it's no news. Right? And I always tell him, like, you got to be matured first about this. It's not like you're not mature, but on this one, you have to get there before I can give you a phone. So once in a while, he'll be like, Daddy, I'm mature now. You cannot get a phone. I'm like, no, you're not there yet. Right? So it's that kind of conversation than just putting an age cap on it.
Okay. I agree with that.
Yeah, I had my first phone when I was 16.
Oh wow, that's late.
Yeah.
That's late. I had like 12, I think. 12.
But I'm a girl.
I was like 10.
And
that is the thing too.
Like, I had my father and my mom. So it was...
What's the need for it?
There was a conversation between them before they decided, like, hey, we're going to give her a phone at 13. What am I doing at 13? As a girl, I'm playing with Barbie dolls, imaginary houses in my room. Like, I've had that experience to not have a phone until I turned 16, which was 16 for me. I was mature. I was open to my parents. I didn't have really much to lie about because I wouldn't say my parents were super strict, but they were strict on, like, rules and regulations on what's important at this age versus what's not important at this age. And at 16, it was the sex talk after that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then they came with a whole bunch of other responsibilities, phones and boys. And then, you know what I mean? And I had to make a decision like, okay, do I want to gear my attention towards that? Or now that I do have the freedom, okay, I can use this and then also still be on the right path of, you know, being in school, doing work. And then I did have a lot of, I was in a lot of activities. So I did have a phone and I was in group chats and friend group chats and stuff. And I did experience certain apps and stuff like that. But because I was still occupied with sports and choir and like hands-on things versus just being on social media. I was on the physical side of things. So when I was 16, I really didn't have a problem with social media and phones.
See, that's probably where I differ from everybody. So I've had my own. I can vividly remember my first cricket phone at 5.
Yeah, I had the little Burberry. What is it?
Blackberry.
Blackberry.
Yeah, man, I missed that phone.
I used to have minute cards, all that. Deep.
But that's where I think some of the difference comes in, because I've had a phone since 5. And I've literally watched the introduction of social media.
Right, me too.
And I remember, all right, the phone is a brick phone keypad. Yeah, that's it.
It was texting,
Then you go to BlackBerry, and now you can slide and type quick.
And they had the little internet thing you can click on, and then load it slow.
And then I remember 3G.
Yeah.
And 3G is here.
4G.
And then 3G, 4G, but then we get 4G LTE.
Yeah.
And that's when it's all, after 4G,
it all went here.
It all went down. Oh, yeah.
I had my first phone when I was like, I think 10. It was a flip phone. Right. And I asked my dad for a flip phone.
Yeah.
I didn't ask him for a smartphone.
Yeah.
I went to the store with him. I was like, oh, this is the one I want. Because I thought the flip phones were cool. Because growing up, that's all I saw. I was like, oh, I want a flip phone. Yeah. So I just wanted to flip it up. And, you know, so that's the phone that I got when I was a kid. But Eventually, I got smartphones, got social media.
Yeah.
Now you got 12-year-olds with iPhone 15s.
Yeah,
And that's the scary thing. I don't know how a parent even.
That's what they grow up with, so
What?
that's what they see.
No,
that's what they think.
I was
is cool.
using 7. My brother was using 12.
Yeah.
So I always be like, you even have, you know,
Better phone.
a better phone than me. And then when I changed my phone, she
Yeah.
was like, now you have a better phone than me. So are you going to get me a better one than yours?
Yeah,
Like,
my sister was that way. But with me,
Yeah.
I didn't want like the newest iPhones because they had restrictions on it. And I wanted to play my games and all that stuff without any restrictions. So I always wanted an Android or like a older phone with less restrictions so I could get my mods on every game that I play.
Yeah.
So I think it's just based on each kid and what each kid is like and their personality.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not one size fits all.
And balance it out too. Like now that the younger generation is just growing up into the social media world, I think it's a good idea to keep your kids in activities and physical things so they won't get so wrapped up into the social media and it's phone every
I was just thinking about it when you were saying you were into sports and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe that's
the
outlet that.
Yeah, I was in school for 8 hours.
Yeah.
After school, I was
2-hour practice.
2-hour practice. After that, I'm going to choir. After choir, I'm coming home. It's probably 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I come home. I don't even want to check my phone. I want to eat, go lay down. I got to go to school in the morning. Do it all over again.
I'll be honest. These days, I'm shocked when I see a group of kids playing outside.
I remember when we were young,
them,
that's
like,
all we would do. Go outside after school, come back, do your homework, take a shower, go to bed.
And when you were outside, that's where you learned. You
say
this, you'll get this repercussion.
Yeah.
If you do X,
and you got
here.
personable skills, so you're able to talk in person without being awkwardly.
Oh, that's one of my. That's one of my little like
pet peeve.
Yes. When I'm speaking with somebody or if we're in a social environment and I'm having a conversation and then I see you're texting while oh,
because then you're not engaged. Like you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
That cuts me off. I'm ready to end the conversation.
Yeah, I don't even talk.
You go to the restaurants with friends, and then everyone is on their phone.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay. I really like this one restaurant. I don't know if I can mention the name, but this one restaurant at
Twin Peaks.
No, he didn't. No, my uncle don't know, bro.
Right.
Hell no.
Liberty Township, the mall.
Yeah.
Right. I think somebody just whispered it, but the network there is not good.
Oh yeah.
So I really love it. The network is not good, so you can't be on your phone like that because the internet is not working.
Right.
So you're forced to have a conversation with each other.
Yes.
I don't know if it's intentional on their part, but I really like it for that reason.
That won't surprise me. I mean, these days you should be able to get service anywhere.
Yeah. I try to limit my acts. Like when I do have gatherings like that, I really try to like flip my phone down because like when your phone is up and you're at a restaurant or you're having a conversation,
light pops up
and that light pop up, your mind just went blank. You don't even know what they're talking about no more. You just got an Instagram notification. Like, who is these people on my phone?
Sure.
And I think it's kind of weird because the people you should be interacting on your phone are the people you should be eating with in real life.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why are you on the phone when the people you talk to on the phone are right there in front of you? You know?
And
so if you're finding an excuse to go on your phone, that's how you know you're addicted to your phone and social media. Rather. So if I'm texting my best friend, right?
Yes.
But I'm eating, like I text him all the time, right? And now we're at a restaurant together and he's sitting right in front of me or she's sitting right in front of me, right? Why am I going back on my phone? You know what I mean? That's the person I text all the time, you know?
So I got a question if y'all don't mind. When's the last time that y'all were not on y'all cell phone? So like how, like as far as like a day or how many hours, what's the longest period of time that you were not on your cell phone?
When not asleep.
Not asleep. Yeah.
Right.
Can't count that one.
Well, I actually am not on my phone.
Yeah, me
probably like 2 hours out the day when I'm streaming.
Right.
Hey.
Cause I have a Mac Air book, so when I'm streaming, I can't look at my phone because I'm playing Call of Duty. So I'm talking mess on Twitch with the people I'm in the party with, and I can't really, do this and do this like so for 2 hours a day. I'm on Twitch.
Yeah, I feel you.
I can't be on my phone.
Got me on your phone. Got you.
Yeah.
What about you, Henry?
I went like a whole day without it.
424.
But I was like distracted doing stuff, like busy. If you're busy all day, school, and then after school you got to go eat, and then you go to work, and then come back home, homework. So I went a while with that one. I mean, I check the time.
Right.
Even then, I got my watch.
Yeah.
But then so.
What about you, Malik?
Okay, so the one time that immediately pops up is when I went out of town, broke my phone on the last day out of town.
Ooh.
So I have one boarding pass. That was the first issue that came to mind before anything else.
Because it's on your phone.
Exactly. And so now I'm like, all right.
Wow. That's crazy.
All right, how am I gonna go about? All right, I gotta make a call that I landed, and so that was the stress. But once I realized, like, okay, there was a little bit of peace in a way where I knew nobody was gonna be like bothering me. Then I pretty much was like, all right, calm down, and I realized, okay, boarding pass, that's no issue, cool. Right. Now, in terms of like communicating when I do land, that's gonna be an issue. But let me just get on this plane and
figure it out.
Exactly. So that was a whole. Okay, so I landed by like 12 a.m. Yeah. Cracked my phone in the afternoon. Apple Store doesn't open until what time? 8, 9, whatever minute they open, I was there. So from that little gap of being on the plane, then that's when I didn't have my phone.
Yeah. Got you. The reason I asked, and I don't know if you
for me, I can't recollect.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I cannot tell.
There's so many things you can do on your phone. Like it's a part of it's become a part of human. Yeah.
For me, my work is also
on the phone.
Right?
Exactly.
For the most part, I get calls for work related, or like I also have other gigs that I do, and
got you.
People reaching out. So man, if you take my phone away,
you don't know what to do.
So unless it's something you're physically busy doing, or you literally just can't access the phone.
Like right now, I can't really check, but if that Airbnb message comes,
okay. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
that's interesting.
Yeah. I think this was a good talk, honestly.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Good perspective.
It definitely was.
Okay. Anybody have any
outro?
Any closing thoughts? Anybody want to hit a point that they wanted to?
One thing away from me from this podcast, it would be self-discipline, self-accountability. If you also, even though social media has a big influence, it's still on you. Everything that you're going through and getting through is on you.
Self-discipline,
self-accountability.
I hear you.
Self-awareness and knowing when you're addicted to something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's true.
I think for me, a lot of times when I feel anxious or anything, or like dealing with anything, like the first thing I do is I pray, or like I talk to my girlfriend or my mom or anyone about it, or any of my friends, right? So
keep that
I think
content.
like working, like realizing that there's a reason why you're going through something, and talking to God about it, and getting over whatever you're going through. Yeah,
that's true.
Agree.
Really.
I mean, I think social media is the new dope, right?
And
we're all getting hooked to it one way or the other, right? So realization is very important, and then having a recovery plan. Being in denial does not exempt you.
Yeah,
that's true. I'll say if I'm gonna leave, let me leave people with this.
Yeah, drop it.
Let me leave people with this. When you see those comments, right? When you see those comments, these apps, all of them, they allow you to turn them off. If you don't want to see the likes,
turn it off.
You can turn it off. You don't want to see the notification,
turn it off.
You can turn it off.
Oh, Charlie.
So, all I ask is attempt, whether it's 12 hours, 24 hours, a day, attempt to free your mind from that, from the notification, and just to see how you feel.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you like the feeling, then continue. See if you can do 5 days, a week, no notification. Or when I say no notification, I mean the notifications that take your time away from the importance of, whether it's family, religion, work, anything
activity,
like that. Exactly. Yeah. So overall, I want everybody to try and find their peace of mind somewhere in real life before online.
Yeah.
Well said.
I agree. Well, I thank you guys for coming. And that was it for today on Express Podcast. It was nice having everybody give their ideas and opinions on the mental health crisis.
Thank you guys.
Thank y'all for having me too. Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate Wyattsdot as well for having us.
Wyattsdot.
Yes. All right, that's it, you guys.
All right.
Hey.
Go get recovery.
But my mind is fortified. In my room all alone, I like to stay in my zone. And that's how I build my bones. Shall let that be my own? Life written like a poem. My wish I like moving on. No physical, my heart is home. My heart is so. Express your thoughts. I go express my own. Make you express your own. I go express my thoughts. Express your thoughts. I go express my own. Make you express your own. I go express my thoughts. Express your thoughts. I go express my thoughts. To make you express your thoughts.